England Open and Zak Crawley going to start with David. Go ahead, Steve.
I was like a top team in terms of the opening day. John Root obviously improved the performance every class at the moment. It's not very likely on the down. You must enjoy that.
Oh, it was unbelievable. Yeah, we fully expected him to get a good score at some point in this series. You know, he was due. He's the best player we've ever had, and he played phenomenally today, and he deserves everything he gets. He works so hard at his game, and he always comes good. So yeah.
What was the chat like at lunch? Because it seems like it was purposeful and Joe and then to sort of did he in a bit?
Yeah, I suppose so. It was tricky with the fields they were setting, but we just always talk about being present in the moment, playing the situation, and the situation required a bit more caution on that kind of pitch with the variable bounce, and that's what they delivered. At other times we counterpunched today, but they played it perfectly where they read it well. It was tricky to try and get on top of them with that field, and they just knocked it around and played perfectly.
What was it like first time they started? You faced that much of the ball?
I must have done at some point. It was nipping a lot. It was nipping quickly, and he bowled really well. To be fair to him, they both did, and it felt like you had to throw a counter punch. You couldn't really sit there like those boys did later on in the day. So it's about reading those situations. Thankfully, he got a couple away early, and Johnny batted really well, doing the same counter punch. And then when the time came, like you say, the boys dug in and batted beautifully.
Be like a new ball wicket or?
Against the seam it is, I think, but I think it got harder versus the spin. I think the softer ball made it bounce a bit more invariably, and so I think for seam it seemed a lot easier by the end, but I think the spin probably got harder. So.
Will, go ahead.
Can I just ask about pitch generally? Do you feel like it's got easier as the day's gone on, or is it Ben said before game didn't know what to expect from this pitch? Still kind of feel like that a little bit?
A little bit. I expected variable bounce, to be honest, from look at those cracks, and they certainly did less and less as that opening spell went on. Obviously, I got out still fairly early, but it looked like it wasn't bouncing anywhere near as much or as quickly as early against the seam, but I think it got harder against the spin. So I think that it will continue to break up, and it might be a new ball wicket. Hopefully, it is when we bowl tomorrow. But I think the spin's only going to get harder.
Your A-Leagues, step. Did that kind of? Were you thinking about we need to get on with this because
Yeah, I was kind of batting and thinking about is there a ball? Should I just bat normally, or is there a ball with my name on it? And I decided to bat normally until I got bowled, and then I thought that's going to happen. That could happen again next ball. So I felt like I had to throw a counter punch, and it kind of came off a little bit for a few overs, and managed to get a few away. And Johnny did the same, batted really nicely. Thought there was one with his name on it, and then when it became a bit easier, you didn't have to take those risks. So. Yeah, I think if I wouldn't have batted like that the whole innings, I think it was just a little bit while it was doing so much.
So in that context of that pitch, how good is that knock from Joe
Yeah, phenomenal knock. He's probably the only bloke in our team who could have done that knock. He's that good. He's our best player, and he stepped up when we needed him. 2-1 down, and 120 for 5 or even less maybe at one point, and. We needed him to get a score, and he got a score like he's done for so many years now. He's a phenomenal player.
He's had some interesting businesses recently in the first round, trying to hit that round. Do you think he's made a conscious effort to put him away and go back to the kind of ultimate Joe Root situation?
I don't know, to be honest. I haven't asked him. I would never question Joe on anything except asking him for advice about batting. I reckon if the pitch had been truer, I reckon he would have still played those shots. I think it might have been just a variable bounce which stopped him sweeping and paddling today. It wasn't really the pitch for that kind of thing. It was too inconsistent. But in Dharmashala, if it's a flatter wicket, I'd fully expect him to reverse ramp one. And that's just Joe. He's very present when he bats and doesn't overthink it too much.
What about Lebanon Takashi, how he was bowling? He dismissed you on the ball, but then he got you again. Why not a little later? What about him? How was he bowling the opening spell?
Yeah, he bowled really well. Skiddy bowler, bowled with more pace than I thought he had. He bowled good pace, and ran the ball back in on that pitch with invariable bounce was tricky, and he got it to nip, and he was tough.
Anyone? Okay, we're done. Thanks, sir.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. See you tomorrow.